All right, everybody, welcome back for the second hour here. You're listening to America Now. I'm live with you. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, during this hour, author, former statewide prosecutor, and Deputy Attorney General of New Jersey, John J. Higgins, rejoins me, and we'll be discussing the power of humor. You know, shared laughter is one of the best tools we have to keep us sane and healthy at the physical, mental, and social levels. Really is the best medicine. Humor is also a social corrective, critiquing social injustice and affecting change. Humor is truly our saving grace. So the next time those dark clouds gather, remember these words of wisdom from Maya Angelou. Laugh as much as possible. Always laugh. It's the sweetest thing one can do for oneself and one's fellow human beings. So true. John, thanks again for joining me this hour. I know you like to laugh.
Oh, absolutely. I have trouble staying serious for any great length of time. It was hard when I did trials because you have to, you've got to stay focused and, as a prosecutor, you've got to be serious all the time. I mean, thank God for lunch.
I can just see it, though, in a courtroom, cracking everybody up in the middle of a devastating murder trial or something. It is. It's one of the ways you could probably use, considering the caliber of stuff you had to try to stay sane.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can't laugh at certain things in life, it's very tragic, and that's not what life's about. There's a lot of silliness in a lot of things, and it's, I think, important to pick those things out. It kind of keeps you right-sized.
I think it's one thing we Americans do very well. We know how to laugh. We know how to joke, but we know how to laugh at ourselves. And especially, when you talk about, the silliness, politicians are great fodder for that silliness throughout history.
Oh, absolutely. Because they try to get, some of the things they come up with are just absolutely insane. If you look at it in the light of day, we just had, in New Jersey, they just passed some new revisions to the the child car seat law to make it clearer, supposedly. I mean, until a child is like 2 years old or 20 pounds or whatever, they've got to be in a rear-facing seat. I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, I used to stand next to my father. They were undertakers. I would stand next to him in the hearse on the bench seats. I survived, but I can't imagine some poor kid up until the age of 2 looking at the back of a seat as you go down the road.
What's that really going to do to them? I mean, it's like, how does that promote communication? But
we're protecting them, and then I think you have to be in a booster seat until you're 8 years old, 80 pounds, or 4'9".
What? There's adults that are a little less than that. So what? They got to be in the booster seat.
Well, it's good they put the age thing in there, because I think my mother barely broke 4'9". Well, I guess she could have used the booster seat, but you usually see the steering wheel and the eyes underneath looking at you.
Oh no, it's one of those. The little old lady with you can barely see the head over the wheel. Oh, danger, danger. There are crazy laws everywhere. I'll tell you, we've got some crazy ones out here in Colorado, and I think, what you and I can do, and I hope other people will do. Call in, share your stories, share goofy things going on, because this hour we just kind of want to open it up. We need to be humorous. We need to laugh, and it really is good medicine. And this is our gift to you tonight. Just kind of laugh with us. Help the world feel a little better, even if it's just for an hour. But, here in Colorado, everybody thinks, now that you've legalized pot, everything's all great. Well, yeah, for those kinds of things. But we have other crazier laws, even weirder laws. Like you can't drink rainwater here. It's totally illegal. And if you have kids who want to set up a lemonade stand, you are out of luck. It's illegal to set up that lemonade stand. However, they can sell pot. Good luck. We're training them early here, I guess. I don't know. And there's another one I violate constantly. It's illegal to drive a black car on Sundays. I have a black vehicle. Oh, dear.
Maybe that's why you're having trouble with the ignition.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. It's true. Wow. You sent me a video not long ago of your wonderful governor, who we love to talk about on the show, Chris Christie, chasing a guy down the boardwalk who had heckled him, so he went after him with, of all things, an ice cream cone in his hand. And I mean, talk about LOL out loud. Wow.
Absolutely. And I was around the executive detail people that protected both, the governor and the attorney general. I mean, I was sitting there going, well, what if he swings at the governor swings at a citizen? Are they going to have to arrest the governor?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy anymore. Do people not think about these types of things? And here, again, this is, as we talked about in the first hour, this is a public service, a public servant person doing all of this.
Yeah.
But at least it was just an ice cream cone
that
he was going after.
Basically in his hands at any given time. But, I mean, it's going back to that seatbelt law, it's like when you sit about, because, being part of the Attorney General's office, we'd have to advise the cops on how to handle these things. I mean, are we going to have the police run around with scales to weigh the kid in the back seat? I mean, I don't even know how you enforce that law. Are you going to ask the parent how old they are? Oh, he's 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and they spend time doing that. We had another one that really cracked me up, was that the one legislator wanted to put a law through because I guess somebody had stolen his bill that he was proposing on drafting or submitting. And he wanted to make that either a crime or some kind of offense. It's like, this is all you have to focus on?
Yeah, it's the old, he stole my homework, oh my gosh,
Exactly.
Yeah, aren't they supposed to be working together? And if, who cares who gets the resolution of the law out there? It's not like, hey, look at me again. Here we go with the public servants not understanding their roles here again. But, it's so pervasive throughout America right now. Again, it's this competition thing like we talked about in the first hour, John. It's mine. It's it's either my intellectual property, it's my this, my that. We've become such a society of me. But, when we laugh, that's what's neat about laughter. It's very uniting. It really brings us together.
Yes, and I think that's why we admire comedians so much, I mean, I think like Robin Williams or Carlin, I can't think of his first name. I mean,
George.
George. They hit so much right on the head in terms of how people took themselves so serious, and it was really silliness to begin with.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If we could just lighten up a little about everything, we'd be all in a lot better place. And the role of comedy in our, democratic republic, it's been huge. Humor and social justice, this is a big one. Americans have always had this long tradition of critiquing the dominant forces in society and ridiculing those in power. And that's a good thing, because we can really say a lot of things, like you were talking about with the comedians. We can affect change in a very quick way by going about it humorously. I really appreciate all the political satire shows out there. They really hit home. All right, we're going to continue this discussion on humor after the break. All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to America Now. John J. Higgins joining me again this hour. We're lightening it up this hour. We want you to laugh, America. Laugh at yourselves, because you know what? It unites us, gets us in a positive frame, and it keeps us moving forward in a very good way. We can all get through things when we laugh about them, and laughing about the politicians, commercials, politicians, all of these things. Anywhere you look these days, there's a lot of great sources for humor.
Oh, absolutely. My favorite stuff today is the Hotel.com commercials with this Captain Obvious. At first, I didn't get it. I didn't quite understand what the whole thing was. But the most recent one they had, where the guy, he goes to drop something outside of his hotel room in his underwear, and the door closes behind him. And the actor they have is just tremendous with the facial expression, because I think every one of us have thought about just quickly darting out and doing something, and then the whole idea of being caught, and then he stands up and he hides behind this bush that really is not, one of those fake trees, and the captain goes to him something to the effect of, what are you doing outside of the room? And he goes, I'm trying to hide, Captain Obvious. He goes, well, you're obviously not doing a good job. I found you right away.
Yeah, obvious. Yeah, sometimes that in-your-face kind of stuff is just great. Puns, all these types of things. But again, there's so many things that in real life are so much wackier than anything you could possibly make up. Just stuff that all of us, I'm sure, we can share stories. We can talk about that, things that are just beyond belief. But again, crazy laws. And I have to tell you, in Colorado, we've got some really crazy ones. It's illegal to lend your vacuum cleaner to your next door neighbor. So does that mean if my neighbor lives 2 streets over, I can lend that neighbor my vacuum cleaner, and then possibly he could give it to the next door neighbor next to me? Then it wouldn't be illegal? I mean, really, come on. Or we have another one here that's local. Cats have to be fitted with a tail light if it sneaks out of the house. I mean, really? This is the law. I mean, who wasted taxpayer money to put these laws in place?
Well, I've always said part of the problem is the legislatures meet too much and too often. They should meet every 10 years, or for every law they put in, they should have to take a law out. I mean, I think that would be a more sane thing. I mean, in New Jersey, we came up with the stuff about smart guns. So, we are schizophrenic when it comes to firearms. And, you can only buy a firearm when the smart technology, was in place. Well, the smart technology doesn't work. So it's now I think they're repealing the law finally. It's dawned on them that that's just a waste of time. But,
well, at least they're going to repeal it. It's so many of these laws get left on the books, though. That we're all obviously breaking laws constantly we don't even know about. It's just beyond belief sometimes, and so many things are just so stupid. If you can't laugh at yourself, I know at least when I do something stupid, well, I'll laugh at myself. What the heck? Einstein said it best. 2 things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but that's all part of being human. Sometimes we're not concentrating on something, and we do something, that is stupid, and it's just part of life. And and again, I think that humor has a sense of humbling us, and making us look at ourselves without the glasses of the big ego that I'm a perfect being.
Yeah, exactly. It increases happiness, and you feel better instantly. Your immune system's bolstered. Pain, if you have it, is lessened. Protects you from the ravages of stress. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And better than that, humor's infectious in a very good way.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my question to you is, what do they do with people driving around stoned? Don't they get lost all the time?
It doesn't really matter. We're all in the whole state's laws. I'll tell you what, we the people of Colorado were supposed to get a great tax refund this year. We had an additional $44 million in taxes collected from, of course, the marijuana sales. But unfortunately, our state representatives can't remember where the heck they put it.
Yeah, I mean.
So, hey, yeah. And
you think the practicality of it, that, there's got to be, some kind of issue with people, well, I guess with GPS, I guess if they listen to it.
Believe me, I had one. I was with a friend today, and we were out driving around, and we got behind this one car, and you could tell either, I'm not going to say, age-wise, it was either that or, wow, they're really stoned, because they were just like stopping 200 feet from the rear of the other car. The depth perception was totally gone. Really slow, and all of a sudden hitting the brakes when somebody, in the other side of the other lanes was hitting the brakes. It's like, wow, dude, what's going on? It's like, yeah, stoned. And yeah, we do have laws about driving stoned. It's the same offense as DUI. But, it's really hard sometimes. Not always, but it's kind of hard. And the police there's too much for them to do, and there would be too many people. They'd have to be rounding up. And besides, most people are pretty smart about it. They say, if you can sit on your porches, you can smoke. As long as you're not leaving your property or whatever, hey, that's fine. We have laws now that say it's fine. You can sit on your porch, smoke a joint, do whatever. We have shops you can go to, that are like clubs and whatever. Do it there. Do it. And we have plenty. We also, Fort Collins itself, taxi cabs, huge business here, because they give rides to people after certain hours, all free. We don't have to worry about driving in either the state of drunkenness or being stoned, because you can always find a ride and you can get it for free. And I think it's a brilliant idea.
Oh no, that's any place. I've always thought that's what your bars should do, is that somebody's in there drinking, they should make sure that there's some kind of way of getting them home that would cut down on a lot of drunk driving stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I think of people who were stoned. I don't think they're really speeders.
No,
more of an impediment on the road than they are anything else.
Yeah, it's like, oh dang, I got behind another one now. And it's like, wow, 3 lanes of traffic, and all 3 lanes are going 30 and the 75. Oh dang it! But it's forcing everybody to slow down now. So hey, accidents are lessening. That's not a bad thing.
Well, that's what I would think would be happening. Drunks kind of speed up. So
this is a better alternative, I'll tell you. Yeah, all right. We're going to continue this discussion on the other side of the break. Stay with us. All right, everybody, welcome back. John Higgins and I discussing humor tonight. And, it's true. Laughter is the best medicine. And if you can really laugh at a lot of the stuff that's going on, and, of course, not a lot of the stuff going on is very humorous, and you shouldn't find humor in it. But most stuff, you can really sit down and go, oh, my gosh, what were these people thinking? Especially in regards to laws. And, John, you're going to have to sit here for a second again. I've got some more crazy ones, national ones. In Kentucky, did you know every citizen is required to take a shower once a year?
Well, at least it's once a year, right?
Yeah. Hey, Minnesota, it's where my network is. It's illegal to have sex with a fish. And I learned from James, my producer, also a duck and birds and things along those lines. But if you live in Utah, it is illegal to have sex with any animal, so long as it's not for money. Really? Come on. Wow. And the great thing I think about humor is that it really is philosophizing in action when you think about it, when you start looking at all of these things. What were they thinking about?
Well, exactly. What was the event that stimulated the need for the bill?
Yeah. Wow. I know. You really almost don't want to go there, but when you do, yeah, kind of creepy, but in a funny way. Yeah. But what's creepy in a funny way, and it's not supposed to be, drug ads. Big pharma ads on TV. Wow. If you're awake and aware and you listen to those things for real, 10 seconds of the minute ad is the supposed positive effect it will have for you. The rest of the ad, the other 50 seconds, are the horrible things it will do to you.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you sit there and you scratch your head. The cure is worse than the disease. And then they want you to go ask your doctor about being put on it. It's like, I don't even know if I have the malady.
Well, yeah, especially the ones where they run 3 in a row. They'll do drug ad, drug ad, drug ad. And then it's followed by lawyer ad, lawyer ad, lawyer ad.
Right.
If you've taken these drugs.
Well, I don't know which law firm it is, but I love what they have. It's like 1-800-BAD-DRUG.
Yes.
So it's like whatever you're on has got some kind of problem. So you know, it's even if they're cute, like you and I discussed at one point, the one that had the little bladder following the woman around or whatever. It's but if you take the medicine, you can die. So.
Yeah. Then you can't go. This will not only help you stop that problem, it will completely stop it for you. And then you die.
Right. It'll cure the problem. And you have, I say that, with Christie with his Social Security plan, let's raise the age. Well, I mean, let's really raise the age then. Keep the money intact.
110, right?
Yeah, 110. There won't be anybody collecting. Not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, but hey, wait, John, Social Security's going bankrupt. We all know this.
Oh, Lord. It's all this scare stuff all the time. It's just craziness, I mean, I mean, if you think about it, with the warnings on everything, I mean, I guess if you breathe too much air, you could die. We know that if you drink too much water, you can die. I mean, I mean, whatever it is, it's like there's this sense that, that we're going to live forever if we didn't do this or didn't do that. Well, no, we're all going to die.
Yeah, jokes on us. Yeah, haha, joke's on us. We all end up the same place. Whoops.
Yeah. It's this belief that we're going to just somehow if you do this or you do that. I know that there was a woman I was talking to once. Her aunt and uncle, they were like in their late 90s, and they were complaining, about how miserable their lives were. And she said, "Well, you ate all that healthy stuff all your life. This is what happens." Just because you live a long, long life doesn't necessarily mean that it's fun.
Right, exactly, yeah. Once the quality goes, I'm not sure, I don't, personally, I wouldn't want to be around, think but who can say, you don't know.
We're very much into organic and that stuff, and I'm like, I kind of understand that, they don't like the chemicals, but I worked on farms. I mean, if you don't have the chemicals, the bugs are in it, or, we're using cow manure and chicken manure to fertilize this stuff. It's all over it.
Yeah, I suppose. Although here, I have to say, we're pretty, eco, and Colorado again. Here we go. We do things of a higher order here, so
right.
Including the humor. But at the same time, the organic and all that. I have to say, I try to eat healthy and natural and organic and all of that. And I try to wash it. But I happen to think because a lot of the beef in our stores is grass-fed beef. And the other day, I'm walking through the store looking at it, and it just dawned on me like a big light, like the switch went on. Grass-fed beef. Whoa, that now has a whole different meaning here in Colorado. Oh dear.
Well, I guess you have to be careful if you eat somebody's cookies or brownies.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we've already had some law cases with that where kids, a mother actually allowed the kid to eat the brownies and stuff, and kid freaked out, and it wasn't a good thing. So yeah.
Well, how do they control the content, of THC in the stuff, right?
Right. Well, supposedly the growers are now supposedly regulated. I don't know.
Yeah, are they testing to see, Jerry Garcia 3 fingers up? Or
if you can still count the 3 fingers. It has gotten a little weird here. I mean, on every corner, the joke is, you have the bank, the Starbucks, the little grocery store, and with the munchies and stuff, then you have the dispensaries. Yeah,
well, that's true. I mean, your convenience stores must be booming.
Oh, they are that. Oh, yes. And pizza parlor here have gone crazy. I mean, great business to be investing in here. If you could see this coming, pizza places. Really, and I'm not kidding. They've done extremely well. There's new ones every other day.
Do you have real pizza? I mean, we are. That's one thing New Jersey does have that we can be a little snobby about. Is we generally have the best pizza. But any place I've ever been in the rest of the country, it gets to the Midwest, they have that deep dish stuff. I don't know.
No, we don't do deep dish. Don't like the deep dish personally. I mean, I know some of the places do, but honestly, John, I think probably most of the people who eat the pizza here in Colorado, doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Wow. These have gotten so kind of out of control here, too, in some way. Even the Colorado Symphony. Now, we're talking a wonderful major symphony here.
Right.
Even got into the act. They announced they would play cannabis-friendly concerts now. And their first one was Beethoven's 420 Symphony. Oh, dear.
So I guess they're switching to a lot of Pink Floyd.
Yeah, other things. But, it's good to laugh, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And I hope anybody listening out there, okay, this was just 1 hour of the show, and if you're just tuning in, we're not always this way, but we've decided America does need to laugh. And we need to have some positive things on the airwaves sometimes, and hopefully you're laughing along with us, and at least laughing at us, if nothing else, because we can certainly laugh at ourselves, and that's what it's all about. Stay healthy this way. Stay sane this way. And no matter what happens out there, you can at least feel good about yourself. All right, stay with us. America Now continues. All right, everybody, welcome back. Well, we're trying to have a little fun this hour and trying to spread the wealth of humor here with you. So I hope that all of you out there are just feeling a little lighter and brighter. And, as Americans, again, we really do know how to laugh, especially at ourselves. And that's a really, really good, healthy thing to do. And I hope America never does lose its sense of humor. Right, John?
Absolutely. It's critical, I think, for us to move forward in life.
Yeah, you've worked in the political arena for quite a while. How is it that humor, and especially political satire, has influenced a lot of things in the political arena?
Well, if a politician gets a little bit too pompous, it's a way of really getting them cut down pretty quickly. And, you've got to kind of think through what you're saying. I'll give you an example of something we were doing when I was dealing with creating Rock Against Drugs. That was in the Nancy Reagan days or whatever, and we were working with MTV. And my colleague in that world had called me up and said, I've got it. We need to do T-shirts that say "Why No" on them. And I said, okay, say that 3 times fast.
I get it.
And I understand the purpose was, then you could explain what the thing about no was, but you end up with a bunch of winos. And you've always got to be kind of thinking of where it all kind of ends up, not what you initially think it's going to do.
Yeah, wow, yeah, that's a great example, though, because so many times, you got this great idea, you forge ahead, just jump off into something, and it's like, oh, oops, oh, well, at that point, hopefully it's, at best, only humorous and not doing any harm.
Yes, or all of a sudden you stand there, because if you don't think it through, you stand there and you go, oh my God, I don't believe that's what I just did,
Yeah, but sometimes humor is used to deliberately harm us. We were talking about some of these commercials and stuff, and boy, the insurance ads, we haven't touched on those. We hit big pharma, we've done the politics and stuff, but let's do a little of the insurance ones.
Well, I think we both love the little gecko guy. So he can almost do no harm. But there's just something that's really cute about that character that really works. So the one that kind of seems to give the wrong message to me is I think it's an Allstate commercial that basically has the narrator saying that the girl's driving around in her car car with their insurance, and she's living on a ramen noodle budget. And I'm like, oh my God, that really doesn't sound good.
Well, hey, she can afford their insurance that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got the wrong message to it.
Yeah.
And then there's some commercials that I just don't think work at all. I mean, if I see Flo one more time, I think I'm gonna,
those are
I don't
supposed to
get
be
it.
yours. I know, I don't get those. They're droll. I mean, they're just. The humor is just, maybe I'm glad to hear you don't get those either, because it's like, that's not funny. I don't get it. It's just weird.
It's not funny. It's not cute. But what kind of amazes me is the amount of insurance commercials on the air. It's like, it's either insurance companies or pharmaceutical companies, basically, that are on the air all the time anymore.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, it's so somebody has a lot of extra money, and I don't know that advertising really works at the end of the day. If I need an insurance, I'm not going to any one of those companies.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I was just going to say that as well. I don't have any of those insurance companies either, because I figure they're spending so much money on their commercials, they're going to jack up the rates. So I'm going elsewhere.
Absolutely. So I'm going to come up with my own progressive gun. And well, the other thing that cracks me up is that they the progressive areas particularly, they want you to put that little gizmo in your car. I guess it monitors how you drive.
Right. So that you're not, and even insurance, I think, is doing those ads now too, or something, so that your rates aren't compared to sort of somebody like you or something like that.
Right. And you sit there and you go, do I really want somebody monitoring everything I do when I drive?
Yeah. I mean, they already monitor everything else. I suppose it's only one more thing, but now I don't need to let the insurance companies in on it as well.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and it is such an important factor. They have to have accident forgiveness. It's like, well, it's an accident. You have insurance for a reason. So if accident, it's now you're in trouble, and then you're going to have to pay more.
Well, I think they need to have accident forgiveness on homeowners right now based on my almost 1-year-old original claim from last October during the flooding thing that we had out here. And I still haven't gotten this thing resolved. It's like, no, it's your problem. First they say, yes, we'll cover it. No, wait, now it's your problem. It's like, come on, let's do accident forgiveness on this one.
Well, I use the example that when you have an insurance claim, it's like you go and you put a down payment on a car. And when you go and you're going to pick it up, they say, you know what? You were supposed to use the sidewalk over there when you approached. And now that you didn't, you know what? We're not going to give you the car.
Yeah. That's what gets me about all of these things. They always leave themselves the loophole out.
Yeah. I don't know of any other kind of service you ever pay for that they fight you about giving it to you.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. And again, like all of these other things that we've been laughing about, deep down we laugh because there really isn't a lot of humor when you get down to the real things that we're talking about. We need to hold these politicians accountable. We need to get the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies, all these things under control again.
Yeah, and we accept it as though it's normal. It's, anybody, you always cringe when you've got to deal with putting in a claim or something like that. They're really nice when it comes to buying the policy.
Oh, yeah.
This will cover you for all of this and that and da-da-da-da, and then whatever you have, it's like, well, you know what? There's an exception to that.
And you're always the exception, no matter who you are.
Right. I was talking to my brother. He had some kind of damage inside, and he said, well, they only cover the outside. I said, well, if the damage was outside, they'd be telling you they only cover the inside.
Yeah, and that's my case right here. Yeah, we had catastrophic storms. The damage was on the outside, but it caused a problem on the inside. So, okay, the outside, fine. We'll take care of that. Except, oh, wait, it's related to the inside problem. So we can't really technically do that. That's where I'm stuck.
Right. Well, and why are there all the exceptions to all of this stuff? It's like, if you get the policy, it should just be the policy. You know, it shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to have a lawyer. I don't even think lawyers understand the policy. Well,
you're a lawyer. If you don't understand it, heaven help the rest of us, John.
Yeah. Well, because half of it's boilerplate, and then they slip in something that isn't, and you got to be looking at it a fine tooth comb. I've always said that what they send you in big print should be in the fine print, and the fine print should be in the big print. Because that's really where the stuff is.
Yeah. But then we might have a little bit of an advantage there, and that's not a good thing for them, right? It's always been stacked against us, so we laugh.
Well, it would only be being honest, that's all.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know why that has to be exceptional.
Yeah, I agree with you, and hopefully, in these last 2 hours, we've made that point of being in service and laughing, uniting ourselves back together in a good way, that we can turn these things around, that we can keep America great, and ourselves as well. We can pull ourselves up and once again feel like we're moving forward in a very positive way, John.
Absolutely, and you know what? I really know we will. We have that kind of spirit.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Okay, America, keep that spirit going and laugh at yourself while we keep moving forward.